Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the Arkham City Play Arts Kai Joker. This is the updated version from the Joker we got before, and he is way better. The head, while not perfect, is so much more accurate. Face is still just a little bit off. It's not perfect, but it definitely looks really good. Definitely looks better from angles. The other one was missing part of his head, it kind of looked like. And he does come with an alternate head from the concept art with the venom coming out of his mouth. Looks pretty cool. He's got black eyes though. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe that's how the concept art was, but I don't think I'll ever use this just because he never had that in the game. So he looks really, really good. Comes with a knife, and we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail, but I just want to point it out. He comes with a gun. And he has a total of 5 hands. He has got this open hand and that knife hand. Then he has 2 fists and a gun hand. And I suspect the gun hand can also be used to hold the knife. Let's see. Haven't tried it yet. The hands are pretty soft plastic this time. And yes, he can hold the knife actually better in this hand than he can in his other hand. But here's a problem I have, and I'll point it out right now. He has no accessory holding hand for his left hand, so if you want him to hold the knife or the gun, either of those hands is his right hand. So you cannot use both accessories at the same time unless you do a pose like this, where he's not actually holding the gun, it's like he's not using it anymore, he's going to use his knife, something like that, which will work, and that's probably what I'll do, but it would have been nice to have one in either hand, I think. But, you know, whatevs. Alright, let's look at the figure. He's a little bit hunched right now, but that's probably how you'll have him posed. He comes in at just about 9 inches, so he's probably really close to Batman's height. Go back to the Batman review if you want to look at the comparison I did of the two. I would like to point out while I'm here that looking at my Batman a little bit more, I have less of a problem with the hips as I thought I did. It just was really funny. The way it was packaged made it look funny, because they had the hips really contorted, but I fixed it, so no problems. This guy, on the other hand, he does have a slight issue in the hips. We'll talk about that right now. And that just is that he has a hugely long ball peg for the crotch piece. There's a huge gap, and this is up against the stop piece, so you can't go any higher. So it's really, and that, I mean, that's good for articulation, but he's got that big gap and you can't really do anything about it. So that's a bit of a problem. Just like Batman's cape, his coattails have a hinge, a ball hinge on the back. They are pretty limited. You can pretty much get them to go up like that and down. You're not going to get too much side to side just because the jacket itself limits that. But they are articulated, or this piece is articulated. So that'll help in the posing, and you can definitely get him in some pretty nice looking poses. Alright, let's look at the paint. Paint looks really good. He's not as screwed up as the first Joker, but he does have probably too much gray on him, I think. It is a really good paint job though, and once you look at it for a couple seconds you'll get used to it. It's not too bad. He does have, it looks like some scarring from the illness he has in the game, so that's cool. The purplish pink, not lots of shading. Sound like I said not lots. I meant to say lots of shading. This looks really blue, it looks like in the camera. It's not, it's just a darker purple, and it's supposed to be. So hopefully that doesn't look as bad to you as it does look like it's going to. It looks fine in person, so you'll have to take my word for it if it does look funny. There's lots of nice shading throughout. All the pinstripes are painted, the buckles are painted, the flower looks really good, the chain looks good. Everything is painted really, really well. The pink patch on the knee, the shoes with the wraps on them, everything looks good, really good. As far as articulation goes, the neck is articulated. It's on a ball peg. It's really, really stiff though, so be careful with it, but it is there. Then of course you can see the head on a double ball peg. You can use either head you want, and they're fairly easy to swap out, so that's a nice touch. The jacket is a softer piece of plastic. It's connected to the upper torso. It is not connected to the lower torso, so you have a double ball peg in there. You can't really use it too much, but it is there. And then you already saw this ball peg down here, which is where you're going to get most of your posing done. Unfortunately, it does give you that big gap. The hips are ratcheted like always, standard Play Arts Kai ratcheting, forward, back, side to side. Thigh swivel a little bit. Double jointed knees, no real kneecap, and they didn't paint it quite right, but it's not horrible, especially since he's a skinnier figure. Their knees tend to look better on the skinny figures, so that's okay by me, especially if you only use one of the joints. It doesn't look too bad, so that's cool. Ankles, standard ball hinge, they swivel on both ends, and it's ratcheted. It is pretty limited for his ankles though, so that's kind of a bummer. Shoulders, he does have the butterfly joint, although they set it in so far, just like Batman, that it's not that usable. You have a bicep, or not a bicep, ball hinge shoulder, except there's no swivel, so that's a bummer. He does not have a bicep swivel. It does have the peg though, so it does rotate, and you can use the elbow joint to give you the bicep swivel, just because their ball hinges swivel on both ends. So it's not horrible, and you can pretty much get the posing done that you need to get done. So it's not bad. So he looks pretty good himself. His interchangeable hands are fine aside from that problem. His gun, or I mean his knife, a really fat handle. I don't know if they just did that to make him hold it easier or what, but I mean, some people might be annoyed by that. I don't really care, because once you put it in his hand, you can't really tell. So that's fine by me. It's painted well, it has some nice shading on it, looks good. And again, you can just put the gun like that, or have him holding it or something. Not like that apparently. You know, it's not that big of a deal. So I would probably just pose him like that. Like he's gonna use his knife instead of his gun, because he's the Joker, so why not? So really good figure, 100% recommend it. It beats the crap out of the last Joker, so it's a really good step up, and it's a good figure. And other than that torso piece and the lack of a bicep swivel, I don't really see how they could make it too much better. Especially from the side, it looks just like the game. From the front, face looks off a little bit, but not too much. Alright guys, there it is. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.